Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be on this knife, and this is a Shadow Barlow club knife from Albers Cutlery Company for the Barlow Bearcat Club. And so it's really kind of an interesting knife for several reasons. And first of all, it is partly because it's actually not the normal club knife that was made. So if you look at this label, you can see that it says that it has vintage Micarta bolsters, Amboina burl covers, and CPM 154 steel. Well, it doesn't have vintage Micarta bolsters or Amboina burl covers. So the reason for that is because this was a special project by Rick, who is an officer and member of the Barlow Bearcat Club and a big fan of Albers Cutlery Company knives. And as part of the project, Eric Albers made three, if I'm remembering correctly, kind of special versions that were almost in a way, I think, a test of making this pattern. And so this is the first time that Eric Albers, at least as part of the Albers Cutlery Company, has both made a Barlow of any type, and this is a Shadow Barlow, and also the first time that they have done, or he has done, a club knife, as far as I'm aware. So it's a really special knife, and it's something that I really appreciate that the members and officers of the Barlow Bearcat Club are so passionate and have the connections to do these really special projects that I don't. Like, I've had several knives from Albers Cutlery Company, but I don't have like an actual connection with Eric Albers. So it definitely would not have happened if it was, up to my abilities. So I want to thank Rick for making it happen and for, the opportunity to have this really cool knife. Now, I will say that these, the ones that were the actual club knives, the vintage Micarta bolsters and Amboina burl covers, were super beautiful also. In fact, I kind of wish I could have gotten one. I had the opportunity, but basically just didn't think I had the funds to buy both, because these are something like a custom knife. They're not, I should say, not a custom knife, but a handmade knife. So, these are not custom made to your particular specs, but they are handmade every step of the process by one person, by Eric Albers. So they are kind of in an interesting place in the market, both what they are wise and price wise. So these were, I believe, about $340 with the slip and the hot sauce here. And that was true for both this and for the, the normal club knife version. And so, it's not at all an inexpensive knife. It's more than I typically spend. But being that it's something like, it is a handmade knife, something like a custom knife, I think that it's a really fair price, especially when you compare it to other custom slip joints, which get much, much more expensive than that. So, I only did get this version, but I'm super happy to have this version. And so what is this version? Well, you might be able to guess by this that I have here. I don't own and have never bought anything from Tiffany & Co. Not a sponsored video or whatever. But this is Tiffany G10. And so it's kind of a theme. Rick sent this along with a coin from the club for me and in a Tiffany bag and stuff. So it's something that I really enjoy because I really like the color of Tiffany, and it's kind of like a robin egg blue in my opinion, similar to robin egg blue, maybe even seafoam green. But this Tiffany color is really beautiful. It's really one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color. I have a bead from Twice Born Customs here on my Sabenza that I carry most days if I'm not carrying something specifically to review. And so I really like this color, and I was really happy that these kind of test knives or special knives, whatever they are, were made in this configuration. The black on the bolsters here gives it just kind of like a really classy look, in my opinion. I believe that it's linen micarta, but when I say believe, because honestly, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head while I'm making this video here, but I'm pretty sure that it's linen micarta. So black linen micarta and Tiffany G10. It makes for a really, really nice look in my opinion. I actually have a wallet coming from sage grouse leather in the same kind of colorway, and I was considering waiting to make this video until I got that, but honestly I haven't made a video until right now, basically, for about a month. So I'm taking the opportunity while my son is napping. I will definitely post some pictures and such when I get that wallet. I'll make a video about the wallet also, but it'll go with this. And this already comes with this beautiful leather slip from Lynch Leather. So Justin Lynch Leather has done all of the slips so far, the official Barlow Bearcat slips so far, and does an incredible job. He made different slips that went with the 25 that were made of the other version. So I believe there were 25 of the other version, the normal version, and then 3 of these. But he made another slip to go with them that matched the kind of colors of them. These he made to match this version, and so you can see that it has a special stamp for this collaboration. So this is the stamp that we use always for the Barlow Bearcat Club, and then we actually had to have a new stamp made that included both so that they would be evenly stamped. But I made this design to try to match the tang stamp. And so it's not 100% a perfect match because I didn't keep the periods and stuff like that. Slightly different spacing, but I tried to make it very similar. And I'm really happy with how the stamp came out. I think that they look really nice, and it makes for a really nice package. So you can see that the knife fits in the slip nicely. Justin always does great work, and then can drop right out when you squeeze it. And so the last thing here I just want to mention is that these also came with some hot sauce. I'm forgetting right now the name, so I think it's Pucker Butt, maybe, is the name of the hot sauce company that makes these. Something like that, something, kind of silly, but Rick is a big fan of them. He's, he sent me a bottle previously, and I know has posted about it and stuff, so it's kind of like his hot sauce guy, and these were also included with each of the club knives. So you got some of this. I actually have another one that I have really enjoyed. It's, all of these hot sauces are pretty hot, but this one's kind of sweet also. I think it's like a mango pineapple or something like that. But anyway, it's kind of a whole package, as you can see. And so as for the knife, I'm sure there's going to be lots of people that say, well, it's almost 8 minutes in and you haven't really talked about the knife. Well, it is a Shadow Barlow. So what does that mean? It means that it does have an extended bolster, but the bolster is not a metal bolster. So you can see it has metal liners, but then it has a black liner also here. And then on top of that, there's this black, which makes the look of a bolster. Now, I personally think that it pretty much can still count as a bolster, and I believe that it absolutely still counts as a Barlow. Maybe one step below, like a true, 100% Barlow, but it's a Barlow in my opinion. I do have an article on what a Barlow is, so you can search for that on my site. But it does have the extended bolster, but it isn't a metal bolster, so that's what makes it a Shadow Barlow. And then this version does have 154 cm steel, and it is a single clip point, a beautiful classic clip point, as you can see. I love that it has 154 cm because you don't have to worry about using it and getting too heavy of a patina or anything. And you can see the action is really, really nice. It is definitely pinchable. I'd say right around a 6 pull, snaps closed, and a very nicely made knife. Now, there's a couple imperfections. So firstly, there's a little bit of space around the spring pin on both sides. I don't know if you'll even really be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it right here, I think. But it's not a huge amount of space, just something that I noticed. It's, there's a little bit of space there. Mine is not 100% perfectly centered. So you can see it's a little bit towards the pile side. It's not rubbing or anything, but it is a little towards the pow side. And then I did actually drop the kick on this, so I'm sure some people might think that's crazy, but I want it to be a knife that I can carry and use and not worry about the tip being proud. So I did drop the kick some, and it hasn't created any blade wrap. So overall, I think it's a really cool, really beautiful knife. It's something where, for me, to be completely frank, a lot of the time, the value of a custom knife or handmade knife is not in the quality of the knife, in the perfection of the knife. A lot of production knives are, have better fit and finish. Great Eastern Cutlery isn't perfect, but a lot of their knives have similar fit and finish to some of the custom knives that I have, or handmade knives. And certainly there are even less expensive brands that do a really good job. It's more about the fact that it is handmade by one person, and also, to be completely honest, it's about the fact that a friend of mine, Rick, did this project for the Barlow Bearcat Club, working with someone who he loves their knives, and in a way that I couldn't do, to bring a really cool thing into the world, into fruition here, and have this really special knife for the Barlow Bearcat Club. Now, some people didn't love the way we, dropped them. I think Rick did a good job. I think he kind of offered two different versions, where one was just a kind of surprise drop for some of them, and the other was lotteries, basically, where if you were picked, you could purchase it if you wanted to. But not everybody's going to be happy all the time, and hopefully the people who got them are really enjoying them. I think that they are. So I think that they're really cool. Like I say, it is a very special knife. I love the look of it, and I'll just show you a comparison to really my main other handmade slip joints. So this is another Barlow Bearcat club knife. This is the Tracy the Rock. So this is a even more expensive knife than this one. This one was about, I think, $600, which is like way beyond. I think it's not the most expensive knife that I've ever purchased, but it's definitely real close. And I don't have a lot of them. There's a lot of people out there with big collections of custom knives and, Chris Reeve collections and stuff. It's not me. When I make these videos, I love to check out these knives and show them to people, but I don't always keep all of them, and I don't buy super expensive knives a lot of the time. So this one is, definitely in the upper range for me, but another beautiful handmade knife for the Barlow Bearcat Club. And again, a project by a friend, Alex, who has a good relationship with Tracy the Rock, who made these and made it available to club members. And then finally, my Sean Yaw. So this one also goes along with the color theme. This one is a true custom in the sense that Sean, who is also a Bearcat, made this as a surprise for me, kind of based on him knowing that I love Barlows and asking what color I like, and what type of handle I think is best on a Barlow. So this one's really special to me also. I love carrying and using this one. So you can see definitely a little bit of a theme going with my handmade slip joints, all Barlows, I believe, and definitely a little bit of a Tiffany theme going too. So I just wanted to make a video showing this knife. It's a really cool knife, really special knife to me, again, because a friend made it happen, and it's the first Barlow and club knife for Albers Cutlery Company, and a very beautiful knife. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave any comments below, subscribe to the channel, click the bell and select all so you know when I post new videos. Check out my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.